guess one of the things that those pictures don't show, there's a lot of euphoria and stardom outside the change room. Inside the change room, I've never seen a more disciplined and more humble approach to winning. I thought, you know, as from an outsider's perspective, that there would be all of that stuff that you just saw that came inside the changing room, and it just wasn't the case. There was such great humility, you know, such a brilliant sense of, you know what, it was written that it was going to be our day to day, but please and respectfully remain humble as we look towards New Zealand. So that part of it for mine was just really special.
They look coachable players, Haydos. You look like you've got a really good leader in Azzy, Bubba Azzy, but they look coachable. Look like they set their own standards. They want to put the world on show that we are a cricket nation.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, and you've done a lot of coaching hats, you know, over the years, much more than me. There is this great respect for the game of cricket. And so I guess from my point of view, I went in very softly and waited for players to start requesting, you know, certain things. Mindsets often has been the major discussion because really what can I do about technique in such a short time? You don't want to be tinkering with technique, but you can be certainly tinkering around mindset. And you're right, very coachable. There's never been an answer back to me that's kind of suggested that, you know, coach, you've had your go. Sorry, but, you know, we're thinking this. And I think that word coachable is something which is really significant because we also have quite a diverse age group of players. We've got guys that I've played against, you know, Salim, and you guys definitely have, Salim Malik. Shoaib Malik, and also Hafiz, you know, two guys that are well into their 40s, and so those guys have got such fantastic input into the group. And rightfully said, Bubba Azam is a really solid leader. He's no fuss. He's not anxious about things. He goes into his performances. He requires humility, and more than anything, boys, which you'll never see in Australian cricket dressing room, the whole culture is underpinned by this fantastic sense of spirituality and spirit. I mean, every day, bar none, there is this unbelievable discipline. You can be walking to the lift and there'll be prayer time, and at the base of the lift, there'll be all of the team in unison praying. So it's a phenomenal cultural experience for me personally, but to see the way that they engage with each other, to see the way they engage with their own sense of spirituality and purpose around their country is phenomenal.
Haydos Binga, we all know that you love a team chat. What's it been like with the language barrier? I know you know a little bit of Hindi, spending a lot of time in India. What's your Urdu like? Have you learned any words, or have you been trying to interact with the teammates?
Mate, like most Aussies, when we travel abroad, you often go to the dirty words first, and then you work your way. You work your way backwards up from there, right? The please, the thank yous become a priority after you've just sworn at someone. But yeah, look, there is a language barrier, and it's worth acknowledging. And there are some boys that are fantastic, you know, in terms of their capabilities around translation. So the other day, I had a really good long chat to one of the young blokes that you may not have seen much of, but you will in the future, young Haider. And he's got a language barrier, but Hafiz translated that entire conversation, and she speaks slowly. You're very, you know, precise in how it is that you want to explain things, and you get across. And look, oftentimes in cricket, it's because it's such a visual game, the words mean nothing if you've got a tip that you want to relay. Body language and hand signals and temperament is part thereof of that challenge that bridges the gap between the words as such. But, you know, we all learnt the game, I sense, by just looking at the game, either looking at yourself or looking at others that you want to try and replicate, and then you go from there. And Binga, your name comes up a lot. I mean, this young group of fast bowlers, and we saw this last night, right? Shaheen Afridi.
Shaheen, yeah.
They have been facing 130 for the last month. during the IPL, and we all bang on about how brilliant that is. It's a different cup of tea being when you're running in at your pace, and it's a different cup of tea when you're running in at Shaheen's pace. And to deliver those 2 balls, and they're the best 2 balls that I've seen in 5 weeks of cricket. Yeah, fast in-swinging Yorker, the courage that it takes firstly to bowl that delivery, and the pace and the execution with a new ball is admirable against Rohit Sharma. And then you get that unbelievable KL Rahul. I don't think I've not seen him hit the middle of the bat in 5 weeks.
yeah.
And then he gets that ball, right? And that's just like 1-2 punch combination, and India now in the side the power play are on the back foot. And then you've got young Haris Rauf, who's played out in the Big Bash League, that came from the humble beginnings of playing that tennis ball cricket they play in Pakistan. Never played hardball cricket. He got spotted at Talent ID and said, "Come with me, young fella." Suddenly now he's bowling 150s for his country. And Toc, there is a string of young fast bowlers just like that are sitting in the wings that want to be Shoaib Akhtar, they want to be Brett Lee. They've got 0 governors on their accelerators. They want to bowl fast. And God love them, because I tell you what, it's a next level when it comes to world T20s. When average bowling gets punished and great bowling gets rewarded.
Well, Pakistan always find a way to find fast bowlers, don't you? You mentioned Shoaib Akhtar, but talk us through the sort of celebrations last night. It's obviously 2 massive countries. There's a lot of rivalry. But one thing I loved last night, Haydos, was you see Virat Kohli and Babar, they're embracing each other. That was a very special moment to show that sportsmanship in cricket.
Yeah, it's also agree. It's also the role of cricket too, Binger, and I guess we've all been, on the front line of that for quite a long time. I think you and me in particular, right, who have done pretty much every IPL in one way or another. That role around how fierce rivalry becomes central to a community, and that community linked by ocean becomes cricket. And how important that is to keep in the context of life in general, and the importance of that as a whole. So, yeah, beautiful scenes, and that's our great game, right? Like it goes through various stages of controversy, whatever that is, or it goes through challenges like it has done, through our forefathers, through the Great Depressions and wars and things like that. But central to the life of a third of the population of the world is this great game of cricket. And man, I feel so privileged to be a part of it. And just on that, Bing, and this is, a really sensitive point, but last night, the very first thing that I thought about in my head was Dean Jones. His heart, Dino, has been so solid around Pakistani cricket for some time. And I'm sure looking down from heaven, he would have been looking down last night and going, yeah, that's my boys.
Good boy.
That's well my said. Boys, yeah. He's put a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, mate, well said. Mate, thanks for your time tonight. We could talk for hours, we know that. And, we'd love to see you taking on Australia. It could be a first semi-final up against JL, mate. So appreciate your time. We wish you well, and we certainly do mean that, mate. And thanks for your time tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. No worries.
Go on, you legend.
Go well, Haydos.
Thanks, Haydos.